Hey guys, today we're going to check out the Pocket 4K Cinema Camera by Blackmagic Design. I got Chris Konkle here from Construction Kronies. He decided to come down. We're going to take some shots, compare some video, and just see what the difference is between the GH5 and the Pocket 4K Cinema. All that coming up next. So anyway, we're talking about the Blackmagic camera here. So the main features, main differences. Chris, what do you normally shoot with on this side?
So with the Pocket 4K, I'm always shooting in 4K RAW. That's basically the deciding factor on why I purchased the camera, is to shoot in RAW. It's amazing in post. If you're shooting with the right ISO, right, you have a lot of flexibility.
Yeah. So Chris was telling me earlier that this has 13 stops of dynamic range. On the GH5, it's got 12. Yeah. Now, the biggest differences I have seen so far is that this is a full 4/3 sensor, whereas my camera is a micro 4/3 sensor. And as some of you know, the bigger the sensor, usually they're in a bit better in low light. But this thing, because it can shoot RAW, the quality is just exceptional. Now, a few downsides that we've kind of experienced today are that it's not as mobile. It's not a running gun type of camera like the GH5 is. So it's kind of in a different class. You're talking about a more of a studio camera, right?
Well,
versus you know, you really need to have sort of a crew or a lot of time involved in order to get it set up and working and all that. But the quality is worth it if you're willing to put in the effort, carry all the gear around like we've been doing today. So let's take a look at some of the menu options for some of the recording modes. This thing can do ProRes 422 internal, and internal we're talking about one SD card and one CFast card, correct?
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Internal, yeah.
So CFast and SD card, whereas the GH5 has dual SD card only, but you can do 10-bit internals. Okay, so this is a V-mount battery you got here, and Chris, just give us a brief overview of the V-mount.
Yeah, so it's 135 watt hour battery. I can get 6 hours of runtime shooting 4K RAW on this camera.
Okay.
You can put the Canon battery in here for, say, hot swapping. Right?
Okay, so it takes a Canon E6 battery, I think.
Is it LP6?
Yeah. I always get them mixed up because Canon's got the new one for the 1DX Mark III, and it's got the older style, which is what we're talking about here, and not the small one that some of the ones like the T6S have. So
So you can hot swap it out if you need to.
Yeah. Hot swap the V-mount. So how much are V-mount batteries approximately?
So this battery was I think about $400.
Okay,
right?
so 400, and you get about what, 60 minutes or?
No, I got 6 hours.
Oh, 6 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so
6 hours of runtime.
Big time difference between that and the GH5, because GH5 you're only looking at about an hour.
And it's about $100 of rigging gear.
$100 of rigging gear. So lots of rigging gear.
Yeah.
So some of the other differences, there's no IBIS on here. You have to use a pretty stable rig, or like something like one of those, what are they called?
A gimbal?
Gimbal, yeah.
Yeah, the DJIs.
Yeah, the DJI ones, or the real expensive monster one. I forget what they're called, but
the Tilta makes all
I'll
kinds
put them
of
on the
crazy
screen
ones.
later. But anyway, so we got that, and the other main differences you were saying were?
So these cameras are DSLR-like, but they're cinema cameras, so you need to rig them up to counterweight them for running gun and even like for tripod, because you'll end up just front heavy and whatnot if you're trying to run it like a DSLR. So the counterweight of the batteries and building it up like this as well is, it's something you kind of have to do with these cameras. So either way, you're gonna have to buy some rigging,
Anyway, so that's a first good look. We're gonna provide some footage, do some comparison shots. Pocket 4K has some amazing features, and the raw footage is looking pretty good. But I hope you enjoyed the comparison. I haven't had a chance to do the in-depth design or the in-depth testing between the two. Chris is only down for a short while, so anyway, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and the notification icon so you get advised of future videos. Thanks again for joining. Also, check out these other videos popping up on your screen over here.